Yeah, welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Comer and am a podcast engineer here. I'm excited to bring you another episode of Revolutionize Your Marketing with Mill City Marketing and John Petros that we've been doing the last few months here on every Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central. And as the name is suggests, all about marketing, and new ways to promote yourself or your organization. Um, yeah, anything connected with marketing. Um, and so I'd love to have you as a guest. So let us know if you are interested. But with nothing further ado, bring in host John to get us up. So, John, my Veneer, come off mute and kick us off today with our guest.
How we doing, Emily?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Welcome, everybody. Whether you're watching this live on one of four platforms, or if you watch the recording later on YouTube. Um, if you want to leave a message, contact me. Let me know what you think of the podcast. You can do that in my email, millcitymarketingma@gmail.com. Uh, I'm open to any kind of comments, whether it be good or bad. I prefer the good ones, but I'll take either. I'm easy. I'm easygoing. Um, so thank you for joining. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, um, all my videos will eventually get posted there. Uh, so I have a guest tonight, a good friend of mine, not too far away from where I am.
Mhm.
You might actually consider us partners in crime
Mike.
in a good John Paduchak. Come on in, John. How are we doing tonight?
Hey, we're doing great. How are you, John?
I'm doing about to be expected up in the Northeast during the winter.
Exactly.
Can't complain. It doesn't do any good, right?
That's right. Won't help at all.
All right. So, John, why don't you let people know who you are, where you're from, and how you got to where you are?
Sure. Boy, it's a long story how I got to where I am. So this could get interesting. But where I am, I'm in Hudson, New Hampshire. So you and I live fairly close in proximity. I'm a marketing advisor, and I have three facets of my business. I have an advisory where I work with larger companies in the 1 to 5 million annual revenue, actually 1 to 15 million annual revenue range, excuse me, helping them to monetize their business for sale in 2 to 4 year time frame. And then I also create sales bots. So I'm kind of in the AI world there. That's my middle business. And then I help RV entrepreneurs and nomads, which is how I knew Sue the other night. Because I help them to make an extra income while they're traveling so they can enjoy their travels more. Excuse me. So that's just a little bit about me.
So, all right. So, let's talk a little bit about marketing. How do you see the online marketing business going with AI?
Well, it's funny. I look at AI as a huge asset, and I think it frees people up to really stay in their zone of brilliance. So that's typically the way I promote it. We have our own CRM and AI bots that are part of that, and so we're big users of AI. And oh my gosh, it's probably saves me 80 hours of work a week, I would say right now. So I like it. Other people I think are afraid of it taking their jobs. I see it freeing them up to be more in the area that they chose to be in, or be able to, like I said, stay in that zone of brilliance that that they own.
Yeah. Like um like my mentor always says, AI will only hurt those that are not in front of it.
Yep, this is true.
As long as you get in front of it early enough, you'll be going like no tomorrow, shall we say.
Absolutely. And I think that's true with most technologies. You know, if you're an early adopter, I'm not saying be too early an adopter and be married to the thing, because we've seen that go kind of badly for a lot of people that were early adopters of other social platforms and various things in the past. But AI is here to stay, and so the different things that we can do with it as a tool certainly free us up to spend our time on more important things.
Yeah, like one of the side things that AI got me into. Um, a lot of people use it to come up with ebooks for their businesses.
Mhm.
Um, in the fall of 23, I was putting a summit together, and I wanted an ebook to give away to people who signed up for the summit. So I went on to AI and I said, "Can you print me up an ebook on customer acquisition?" 3 minutes later, I had 46 pages of nothing but print.
Mhm.
So I'm going through that right now and rewording it, some of it, and making sure everything's in the right place and adding graphs and charts. So it's going to end up being a book that I'm going to come out with. So you never know where AI is going to take you if you play around with it, shall we say, an experiment. But
This
that's how you get to learn AI too, is because there's so much of it coming out now. Like every week, there's at least a half a dozen new things coming out.
so many things changing like all the time. I'm kind of the same way. I started out with it using it for video scripts and playing around with it with ebooks. And my ebook also is becoming a standard book for what we do, which is, monetize businesses for sale. And it's kind of interesting how that came about. I wouldn't have figured
Yeah,
I would end up taking my notes and writing a book out of it, but it gave me a lot of unique ideas and put together some concepts that I hadn't really thought of. And next thing I know, I'm writing a book.
yeah, and it also got me into doing a second book at the same time. This one hasn't been a year that it's been sitting around. Besides the business book,
Mhm.
way in the other direction, I'm working on a kid's book too.
Nice.
So I'm going like from both ends into the middle, shall we say?
Exactly. And it's a great way to kind of test out ideas. I
Yeah,
know I was using it for boy, this is going to be a long story. So I'm an RV enthusiast. That's the other thing about me. I've got a 32-foot RV in my Class A RV, and we do a lot of traveling. And oh, I'd say a couple of years ago, ran into a young couple who had basically stayed in their parents' basement to save up enough money to buy an RV and pickup truck so they could travel to the United States, go all over the place. And I said, "How far have you managed to go?" And they said, "Oh, we've managed to go to 6 states." And I'm like, "What do you guys do, for money while you're traveling?" And so this is what got me into this whole thing, John, is that these poor kids never finished their travels. They ran out of money after 6 states, and and that was kind of the end of that. And I thought that was really sad. They had set out with their young daughter to see a lot more and weren't able to finish. And I think there's a lot of people like that just want to enjoy traveling more. Lots more people are looking to travel, see different places these days. And I just felt I said there's something to be done here. And so that's
Yeah,
kind of what we started.
yeah, and I know a few people that have RVs and they just sit in their yard because either their jobs got them tied down or their finances do. And
It is a bit of both because, they're not a inexpensive vehicle to run because typically they're large uh, for one and use a lot of fuel for two. And that's the big thing. So I often joke. I said I teach people gassive income, how to make more money to pay for their gas while they're traveling.
yeah,
Mm.
actually, right down the street from me here, I've been here for a good 15 years, and there's a motor coach sitting beside the house,
Hmm.
and I've never ever seen that thing move.
Hmm.
So if they're paying insurance on that thing, they're wasting a lot of money.
Yeah, I know of one on the way down your way. It's almost a twin to mine, except it's a different chassis. And it's right in the driveway, and I haven't seen it move either in the years I've watched it. And it's probably been about 5 or 6, and it's right on Mammoth Road there.
Yeah,
So we might be thinking about the same one. I don't know, but maybe not.
yeah, right down by Lakeview Ave.
No, there's another one like heading towards me.
Oh, heading up towards you.
Heading up towards me.
There's a few of them up that way.
There's a bunch of them, and the point is that there's two things that well that are big interrupters of travel, and one is if you do work on the road, it's very hard to get internet. That's one of the biggest common complaints, and then the other is how do I make more while I'm working on the road so that I can spend less time working and more time enjoying the area that I'm staying in.
Yeah, I know a couple of people that use their laptops while they're traveling,
Hmm.
and they tap off their cell phones.
Hmm.
May not be as good as actual internet, but it gets them by, I guess.
It works for the most part. For the most part, it gets you by. And then there's still some places though, New Hampshire, we go way, way up north, and there's still a lot of payphones in a lot of the parks.
They
So
still,
yeah, so I mean, there's no internet signal up there at all. So it can make life very interesting very fast. But that's the reason, Starlink could become so popular among RVers and some other systems like it. And you can see why T-Mobile latched onto it. I see they're now advertising to be able to connect directly to your cell phone. So I think that'll be good. That should help a lot of people who like to travel, have the ability to do so. They're not tied down to a brick and mortar business. And anyways, it's fun helping those people out. And so
yeah,
we have a podcast called RV Goodness that we're getting started. And it's that's a lot of the stuff that we talk about.
yeah. And again, when you're traveling on the road like that too, um, I lost my train of thought. Don't mind me. It's been a hectic couple of days around here.
I do understand.
My living floor is torn up. Water pipe froze.
It's
So yeah, in the middle of getting that, I had to tear up the floor to get to the pipes
uh,
because it's out.
and of course we've had unprecedented cold airs over the last
Oh yeah,
couple of weeks, so it's been a fun time for us up here.
yeah. And then after that happened, thank goodness it didn't go any further than it did. Our dryer, uh, where the wiring goes in the back, scorched.
Oh,
Luckily, it stayed inside the dryer,
yeah, luckily, because that can be
but it would have been very costly.
extremely, and not very safe, to say the least.
Lucked out on that one. And of course, at the same time, I stole the cord for the TV for Tuesday night. So yeah, that was not a good day. But yeah, it's so. Um, what do? How do you do your marketing? So let's
How,
get back on.
how do I do my marketing? Well, I do use, like I said, a lot of AI, with what I do. Uh, I have my own CRM and own set of bots that I use, and then I work a great deal with companies that are in the range that I told you about, helping to monetize for sales so they can enjoy the freedom and fun they once enjoyed in business when they started and just kind of got away from. And I think it's important to find ways to automate your marketing, have standard operating procedures in place so that, which most people don't, it's funny, most people don't do. Most people don't plan with the end in mind when they start their business. Most people don't put their standard operating procedures in place so that God forbid something happened to you, you want to pass your business along to somebody else or whatever, they at least know how you ran your business. And we never plan for those things. We never think of starting with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey told us, uh, such a great idea to do. And we never planned that someday, we're going to want to exit our business. And that's really what I specialize in, is helping people to scale up their businesses so that they can exit them at a multiple of what they could, or several multiples of what they could, typically, and really get the true value out of the business that they built.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't think of exit strategies, and exit strategies should be considered and thought of as just starting up.
Exactly. And probably, I think on average, maybe 10% have probably thought about it when they actually started their business and said, this is what I want to happen. So now they get to a point in their lives where they're nearing retirement, nearing wanting more freedom, or an illness happens, and they're thinking, wow, I have an asset, I have a business that I can sell. And they're trying to figure out, what do I need to put in place to do that? I'm
Yeah,
completely, I'm completely unprepared. And
yeah,
yeah, businesses that don't have a set of standard operating procedures, they typically get 30% less immediately right off the bat. Um, Businesses that don't have things like AI in place, because AI is an asset to the business. And obviously taking care of key employees is important if you have employees. Also, making sure that the founder of the business has done the right things and put the right things in place so that the business survives, whether she is around or not. And I run into this a lot where people are trying to transition out. So
yeah. It's like a real estate billionaire that I follow. His whole concept is he will not go into a real estate deal if he doesn't know how he's getting out of it in
mhm,
10 to 15 years. And that's how he became a billionaire. He gets a
exactly.
strategy all set to exit before he even gets into it.
I think that's really important for pretty much everything we do. Planning just when to get out. People who trade stocks, same way. They know exactly what their exit point is. People who are in real estate know exactly what their exit point is. And people who are in business for themselves, they should know exactly what their exit point is. There's a lot of similarities in all those things. So
Getting out of a deal is just as important, if not more, than getting into it.
Yeah, and maximizing the value of it is important. And
Yeah.
so that's really what planning ahead is all about. It's maximizing, the value of what you've built and put in place. And typically, typically, we see um, people that have built a business, they either want to pass it down to kids, they're planning for a sale, or there's some kind of a hybrid in between, which is usually what happens with solopreneurs, where they have to find a way to replace themselves in the business, or they stay on as a consultant for a period of time. So it's very interesting. I feel kind of fortunate. I get to do a lot of work in marketing with AI. I have a great group, a great outsourcing group that I work with of about 70 people, and they do a lot of different tasks for me. And we have a pretty well-rounded marketing advisory.
Yeah. Well, sounds like you've already figured out how to get out of it when you get into it.
Yes, I have. I've been thinking, and it's funny, actually getting into this. I had not put the plan together myself, and then I started thinking a lot more about it because I have a son who's 25 and autistic, and so that, of course, got me thinking a lot more about, hey, how am I going to make sure that he's taken care of when I can't be around to make sure that he's taken care of,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just my two kids, so
Yeah. The kids make a big point in anybody got a who's got a business. And
absolutely.
I've noticed too over the years, those that pass it down to their kids, by the third generation, they're usually the ones that get rid of the family businesses.
Hmm.
It usually doesn't go more than three generations if it makes it that far. Lately, it's been two.
It gets harder and harder. I know my father was an entrepreneur, and so I got started at a very young age, in business, and surrounded by business owners and people who, were sole proprietors of businesses and had bigger businesses. And so I've kind of seen it all. And seen the
Yeah,
ones that handed it down to their kids, and different things happened. And I often remember my father saying, things are not easy for people who are in business. You never know what to expect in a lot of areas, and something might just come along that you weren't expecting that becomes a real challenge for you. Might even put you out of business. And we saw a lot of that kind of stuff happen during COVID, didn't we? We saw a lot of
yeah,
business didn't plan for the unexpected. It didn't put funds aside for things like that might happen that would cause a sudden drop in their business.
yeah. That's what my ultimate goal is helping out the little businesses. So, build up big enough where something like that happens again, they'll be able to survive. Seen way too many of them not come back.
Yep,
Some of them that never came back.
absolutely. I think we're going to see more and more of that as time goes on. There will be some people that are hurt by AI because they didn't, hop into it, understand it, put it to work for themselves, and
Yeah,
and other things. I mean, it's not just that, but certainly that is one thing. And then those of us who embrace it, are gonna, kind of reap the rewards of it in going forward, and it'll be a huge asset to our business. So a lot of people scared about that.
I've had quite a few people say to me, "Why are you bothering with AI?"
Mhm.
Because I want to keep my business going and building, and without AI, it's not going to last.
Exactly.
And then they turn around and say, "What makes you say that?" I kind of look at him and say, What do you mean? It's like every new technology that comes out, whether it's AI or look at Apple. Every
Mhm.
couple of months, coming out with something new.
Sure. Always got a brand new phone right around the corner. If you're not
So
innovating, your business is dying.
yeah, yeah. Same thing with electric cars. I'm seeing more and more of them on the streets,
Sure.
and that's why the price of used cars is going up. Nobody wants them.
Absolutely. It's absolutely true. Or they've been difficult to find because in certain places people do want them and certain models and brands are difficult to find. So it's kind of a combination of both. And then the chip manufacturers. So it's just uh, so many things affect different things going up in price. Often we don't see the whole picture.
Yeah, and I like the people that say that they're afraid of AI. They don't like AI. Well, I got news for you people. You know how long you've been using AI and not knowing it? Why do they think when they go
Long
on
time.
to what? Why do they think when you go on to some of these live stream stations, they
Mm.
suggest movies for you to watch because it's AI picking up what you watch.
Exactly. And we've all
And a
used
lot of
Alexa.
people don't realize that.
All used Alexa now to order something, or
Yeah,
uh, or Siri on our iPhone, or whatever it might be. So we've all had some exposure in different ways and forms to AI, whether we expected to or not.
yeah, and I'm surprised how many people don't even realize that.
Yeah, it is kind of surprising. Ads following us around is another form.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, we happen to mention something, our phone picks it up. We get an Alexa unit in our house, it picks it up. Next thing you know, we're trying to sell us dog food and coffee and ship us stuff. And but there's
yeah,
there's a lot of places where AI exists that we don't really think of, and a lot of people wonder how did they know that I was just looking at that car, or that I was just looking at that product X. And I can't tell you how many people pop over every once in a while. We were talking about something, and they go, you know, I saw ads for that thing like for days after you and I were talking about it. Well,
yeah.
that's a part of AI.
And I have this thing where I swear AI likes to pick on my wife. She gets in the middle of something on her phone and she hates mice. She hates even looking at a picture of a mouse in a box.
Oh wow.
And every so often, when she's in the middle of something important on her phone, this ad pops up with
Mike.
videos of. She throws the phone on him and says, "Give it to this, give it to this." I swear it's AI just giving her a hard time.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, she's actually gone to the store to pick up mouse traps a while ago, and she's kicking the box down the aisles to the store.
That's
And
funny.
get to the cash register and ask the girl to come over and pick up the box. She couldn't even pick up the box. So, um, but someone's at the door. Okay, my daughter's
A
got.
lot of activity going on over there.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's always something going on around here. But so, um, Emily, do you have any questions to pop in for John?
Um,
Emily.
uh, not sure if you've already said this, John, but how did you get into doing what you're doing, or what inspired you to get into what you're doing?
Oh, how did I get into doing what I'm doing
Yeah.
originally? It's kind of a funny story, actually. So I went to school to be a an imaging engineer, and I got my degree in engineering. And all of a sudden, I moved out here in the 90s. So I've been in marketing for 35 years. But my boss comes in one day and he says, I need a programmer, but I can get you, I'd like to get you this job in marketing. So I'll have somebody who understands me in the other side of the building. And so that's kind of how I originally got into marketing. And I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed helping people out with it, and realized the more and more I went along, it was fun to see how businesses were built and put together kind of from the inside. And I got to see a lot of that. And it's been very helpful all these years. And it's funny how many people say that not many people last long in marketing. And some people, when I say I've been in it for so long, they look shocked because they say the average person only the longest people typically end up in marketing is like 20 years or something like that. And I'm like, wow, I've never, I mean, I know a lot of people who've been in marketing for way longer than that. But but that's originally how I started, and I started learning about business with my father. Um, when he put me to work on our family farm. So it was kind of a long culmination of things that put together. But because I was more of a practical engineer, I ended up in marketing, and I enjoyed it. I excelled in it, and I liked the people that I worked with, and it got me out of my introverted ways into being much more extroverted, which was also good for me. So big personality change.
Yeah, that's another thing that's got a lot to do with marketing too, the personality.
Totally. You move into marketing sales, you're bound to
Like I
turn.
said, like I said in some of my podcasts, personality fits right in with mindset. If somebody doesn't have the right mindset for business,
Yeah.
it'll fail. Um, I've had a couple of guests on that have talked about mindset. And I've gotten more into mindset too over the past year with the course that my wife was taking,
Mhm.
becoming a life coach. It starts with mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I've added a little mindset piece to my own business after taking the course Positive Intelligence. I just found it extremely useful, and sometimes people have a difficult time getting to the root of an issue that's affecting them and their work. This kind of really gets to it quick, and so I found it extremely helpful. So that's definitely changed a lot of mindset things for me. I find
Yeah.
things bother me nearly as much, and that's one of the things as entrepreneurs we face all the time is, things that change quickly and those hidden surprises that pop on up unexpectedly.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those that set my mindset going in complete opposite wrong direction.
Yep,
And took a little work, but came back from it.
happens to us all.
Almost cost me my marriage, but hey, it worked out.
Good. I'm glad.
Um, just I chuck it up as hey, being stupid in your old age.
We all have things that happen. That's for sure.
I mean, hey, at 65, you're bound to do something wrong.
Yes. I haven't reached that mark yet, but I've certainly had my trials along the way. I think anybody who's in business does for sure.
Uh, well, um, I have something coming up at 6. So, any last comments you want to throw in?
Um, not that I can think of. I think we talked about a lot of really important topics for people who are looking to become business owners or wondering how AI is going to affect them in the future. And I think the big thing is like we're saying, embrace the technology, try to learn as much about it and how you can utilize it in your own work.
Yeah. How about letting people know how they can get a hold of you?
Well, the easiest place to get a hold of me is on LinkedIn, and I do a lot of I have a newsletter there, and I do a lot of writing about uh, selling your business and monetizing it. And it's probably the easiest place to get a hold of me. And I'm the only John Paduchak there. In fact, I don't know of another one. So I'm pretty easy to find, almost anywhere you look.
And you're also available on Alignable,
I am available on Alignable. Yep. Uh, I have several groups on Alignable, and I'm also pretty easy to find there if you're on Alignable.
which every business should be.
I agree. Alignable is a great place to network and meet other business owners.
You got to throw that plug in there for Alignable, especially me.
That's right. You got to do that. Well, we both have a lot going on at Alignable, so
Yeah.
that's for sure.
All right. I have nothing further. I mean, if you want to know a lot about John, check him out on Alignable. He's got 4 pages of information.
I got plenty of stuff there.
What I call my rap sheet.
That's cool.
Everybody I do a one-on-one with, I print up a rap sheet so I can make notes.
Very nice. I think that's important. It's good to know the people that you talk to and keep good track of them because the fortune is in the follow-up and
Yeah,
staying
I have
in contact.
different files for partners, podcasts, one-on-ones. I got all separate files, and I'm finding out that same people got to be in more than one file. And it doesn't work that well. That's all part of organization.
That's right.
Um, all right, Emily, how about some closing words here?
Yeah,
There she is.
I'd like to um thank John for coming on today. Uh,
Welcome. It was great coming on to visit with you both.
yeah, and for anybody else who's tuning in, again, we are here every Friday. Um, so I encourage to see everybody next week. John, you're welcome to come back anytime. Um, and so as you're interested in joining us on the show, uh, please let us know. If anybody has any questions or comments for me, go and text me at 608-886-9801. And we're just
One quick comment, Emily. I
yes,
hate to interrupt, Emily. One quick comment. I almost forgot. John, make sure you pop in on the same link on March 7th. I know it's the last day of the contest. It's also my birthday and also my podcast day. So
Oh,
come
cool.
to my birthday celebration.
Awesome. I'd be happy to. Just remind me, but I'd be happy to.
It's
And
going to be an
fun.
open podcast. People will be dropping in, dropping out. Might even go for longer than an hour. Right, Emily?
yep. Well, as long as
How do you want Emily?
Very nice. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, Emily and John.
thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And if anybody check out our social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on, uh, and other people I'm working with, like Destroying the Disability Channel, Lawrence Renegade Studios, Marcus Hart over the Transforming Media, Zach Clayton, the Pack Channel, and Erlands of the Fitness Fancy Podcast. But until next week, everybody has a safe and productive week and to stay happy.
Sounds good.